I know he talked about you wanting a little better interest rate.
I have never had an oil change.
I'll say it once and I'll say it a million times. Rich people file for bankruptcy all the fucking time.
All right, it's a mix of clips today. A little bit different. I'm just going to wing this one, kind of like the people in these clips. Before we get into it, I got a small update on the second channel because people have been asking about it. I had to buy a bunch of different things, new computer, different equipment, so that's why it was delayed. The plan has ended this week. Fingers crossed everything goes to plan. I'm going to include a link pinned in the comments. The channel's so new with no subscribers, so you can't search it. So if you're interested, click on the link, hit subscribe, and the first video should be up this week. Let's jump into the first clip.
I know he talked about you wanting a little better interest rate. I'm just not sure that there's anything better out there. If you got this loan, you can't change the vehicle you bought, you can't change how much you paid for it, but you can refinance it and get a better interest rate. And so at least this way, we know we have an approval. Worst case scenario, that's going to be the payment. And if you can afford it, and then in 12 months, probably I'd recommend make a full year payments on it and refinance it. That'll knock a bunch off of the payment right there. Credit you've got is good. It's just not a lot there.
Is it really refinanceable?
I really hate when they tell people they can refinance in a year. It's a gamble. You have no idea what your situation is going to be like 3 months from now, never mind a year. How can you plan that far down the road? You can't. All you can really do is hope for the best. And really, that's a big risk nobody should take.
Yeah, if you make your payments good, your score is only going to go up from here. And then you go in, hey, will you guys help me out? I've got this loan. I'm at 19% and I need it taken down. I would be shocked if it's not something that they would go, yeah.
Gotcha. I don't really want to spend $54,000 on a truck anyways.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm looking for something for $30,000 and I don't want to finance $50,000.
How much more down were you thinking?
If I put down like $4,000 or $5,000.
Yeah, let me take a look.
You know, how much would that change?
With $4,000 down, the rate would drop to $17,790.
Putting a few $1,000s down, sure, it's going to drop the rate a bit. Not enough to make it a good deal. Not even enough to make it a bad deal. 17% is still a horrible rate. His down payment is not going to fix that. It just makes a bad loan slightly smaller.
With $5,000 down, it would drop to $17,190. So a little better.
Yeah, okay, gotcha. Can you tell me what that brings the payments to, or no?
The payment was about $750, I think, with $3,000 down. Does that sound right?
Yeah, with delivery.
With 4, it would be $719. With 5, it would be $686.
Okay. Maybe if I were to say put down more money and get a truck with lower miles and maybe a little newer, would that help the interest rate as well too, or no?
Every bank is a little bit different.
His solution to a bad interest rate is going to be spending more. He was close, he mentioned saving. That's a plan. That's a plan he wouldn't regret down the road. Unless he's putting the majority of the price down, he's not going to be getting a good rate. He's only getting the pleasure of overpaying for that truck.
Right? Sometimes they might be a little sensitive to year and miles. The 2 banks that I've got this approved at, neither one of them really care about the miles, but the year and the miles, because we're on a 2021, we're under 100,000. So a different vehicle is really not going to affect it much. For them, they like structure. So down payment, that's what's going to affect it more than switching to a different vehicle.
Okay, got you. Just because I don't want to settle on this one, and when knowing you're buying these trucks as frequently as you are, I might want to just go ahead and save up a little bit.
If he's considering waiting and saving, he probably doesn't need the truck that bad. It's probably more likely something he wants or thinks he deserves. I did the same in the past. I told myself I needed it. The vehicle I had wasn't worth fixing. And I spent the next 6 or 7 years regretting I didn't take that car to the mechanic.
And just kind of put something into your pocket and see if you could find something like this.
If you like this truck, it might make sense to move forward on this truck. But if you're like, I'm not necessarily married to it, I'd like to find something maybe a little different, then we can do that as well. I can look for another truck. This one here in a 1,000-mile radius, it's the second least expensive 2021 LT out in the market. So I'm not worried about selling this one. We'll sell this one if it's not the right truck for you, whatever you need me to do.
It's great that he's waiting, but not so great that he's still considering shopping. Changing the truck isn't going to fix the rate that much. But I'm sure in a lot of people's heads, if you're getting a bad rate like this, you might as well upgrade the vehicle. If you're going to overpay, you might as well do it with leather seats and nice rims.
We can keep looking at the website as things come in.
Awesome. Okay, man, I appreciate it. Hopefully we get something done here in the next month.
You betcha, buddy. So he put a deposit on the truck. We held it for him for a couple of days. Some financing issues there. We wanted to make sure we held it and gave him last opportunity. So he opted to get his deposit back. We're going to keep looking. I don't know if I'll have time for a part 2 because it might be a few weeks from now, but we're going to make sure we get him a nice Texas truck and try and put it in his driveway up there in Ohio.
I can't remember the rates I had on vehicles when I was younger. I didn't really pay attention to them. I know one specifically was bad. Whatever the rate was, it was one of the biggest mistakes I ever made. It took a huge portion of my income when I couldn't afford it. The balance never went down, and it cost me years of my income when I could have been saving. all for something I didn't even need.
I have never had an oil change. Ever. I think oil changes are a fucking scam. Why do you need to change the oil when you could just buy oil and keep filling it back up? Now, I know what you're gonna say. They fried me to bits when I posted this on Instagram. But you can't convince me to get an oil change. I've had my car for 4 fucking years. 2022, 3, 4, 5, 6. I live in Wisconsin. I've gone to Kentucky and back, Ohio. I go to Chicago like 6 times a year. I've never had a problem. Y'all keep telling me my engine finna blow. When? And my car runs and drives perfectly, so y'all have yet to give me a real reason why I need my oil change.
They say you can't argue with stupid, and I'm not calling her that, I'm calling myself that. When I was about 17 or 18, I had a 95 Honda Civic. I went for about a year without changing the oil. I knew better, but I just kept driving. It was incredibly irresponsible. I knew it was causing damage, even though I couldn't see it. I can't imagine what kind of damage she's caused going 4 years without an oil change. It is going to catch up with her eventually, and it's going to cost her a lot. Hopefully she doesn't end up selling that to someone else and leaving them with the problem.
I'm about $35,000 in debt right now, and I'm not rushing to pay it off. Just hear me out. I drive a 2025 hybrid Civic, and it did not come with a cheap price tag, but the interest rate on it is pretty low. So right now I could be throwing that extra money towards the loan, but I don't think that's the best thing for my money to be doing. I'm betting that the market does better than 5%, so my extra cash goes there. And the same thing applies to my student loan because I'm borrowing at a 0% interest rate, so there's no reason for me to rush to pay it off. This definitely comes with a trade-off. I'm sacrificing financial flexibility today so that I feel more of it tomorrow, and I do feel it every single payday. It ties up my money and limits what I can do with it. Maybe one day I'll tackle this loan just to feel a little bit lighter, but for now, my priority is the market.
It sounds great when you say it out loud. I tried doing the same in the past. For me, it didn't work. Trying to pay down a big amount of debt while trying to save at the same time is very difficult. The only thing that did work was paying down the debt 100%, get everything cleared up, and then start saving. That's what worked for me. The only difference I would make is have an emergency fund. I didn't have one. All my money was going towards debt. Nothing was being saved.
If you put a down payment on your vehicle, you are actually owed that money. And I can actually prove to you that your car contract is also fraud. Because if you put a cash down payment down with a credit transaction, that is actually illegal. So what you need to do is read your contract, go ahead and go down to the county clerk, file your lawsuit against the damn dealership, and eat your money down. And watch how they give you your money back.
This one, I honestly have no idea what she's talking about. Down payments are illegal. I've never heard that before. It sounds more like she's looking for some type of loophole, looking for someone to sue. There's just so much bad information on TikTok and people fall for this. The other one I came across was don't put down a down payment because they're just going to pocket the money.
I'm being so for real when I say this. Like, I see on social media so many things that people are doing, like just going on trips, like doing the most, and this, that, and the third. And obviously you wonder how they can afford it because, like, you know what kind of job they have, but it just turns out they're in credit card debt. And I'm like this close just to following suit and just saying f it because, like, I just don't make enough money to do the things I want to do. And, like, I want to do those fucking things, and money isn't fucking real. It is real. I'm not irresponsible financially. But I want to do it so bad!
I don't look at what other people have and feel jealous. You know, personally, I don't want a lot of things. I see people spending all kinds of money on things like boats, cars, motorcycles, whatever it is. I honestly feel stressed for them. A lot of these people are going into serious debt, and it's eventually going to catch up with them. Everybody wants nice things, but it's not worth going into debt to get them.
Do you want to see what $60,000 worth of debt looks like? Hi, I'm Christy, and I overshare about my debt so you can feel better about yours. This is my U.S. Bank credit card, and I have $2,396.08. This is a Citi credit card, and I owe $9,012.20. This is Chase Sapphire. I used to use this card for the travel benefits. Obviously, that's not what's happening anymore. I owe $6,427. This is my Columbia Bank credit card.
I didn't have nearly this amount of debt, but I did have a lot of small accounts like this. And it's so easy to look at a small account, $3,000, $4,000, and just add another card. It seems manageable at the time, but it quickly catches up with you. When you're only making the minimum payments, that balance grows so quickly. Before you know it, you're missing payments and trapped for years in debt with nothing to show for it. At least that's how it was for me.
I owe $4,121.31. This is my Mountain America credit card. I owe $9,143.85. This is my car loan. I owe $12,348.33. And the best one of all, this is a personal loan. I owe $16,799.47. Always remember to be kind, especially to yourself.
She's right about that. Be kind to yourself. Don't go into debt. I think the majority of people we see posting videos like this, they are just trapped. I get it in the comments all the time. Why are people posting videos like this? My guess is they have no way out. The payments aren't making a dent in the balance, and their last hope is social media and views will hopefully pay for it. It's very unlikely that's going to happen, especially on TikTok.
Yes, I filed for bankruptcy, and yes, it did change my life. Let's talk about it. It's the start of a brand new year, and if you were looking for a sign to file for bankruptcy, this is it. I initially made a video last year and now it has over 1.5 million views, where essentially I open up about this whole process and what it's done for me. So I just wanted to come back on here at the beginning of the year as a little beacon of hope. Filing for bankruptcy is truly not the end, and they make it seem a lot more dramatic than it really is. If anything, it truly was the ultimate reset. I had over $30,000 of debt completely vanish. Let's get over the shame and taboo of talking about money.
Bankruptcy is a reset, but it's not something to smile and laugh about it like him. Of course, we don't know his entire situation, but $30,000 isn't the biggest amount of debt. That is probably something he could have paid off easily over the next couple of years. Instead, people want that instant reset without changing any of their spending habits. And that's just going to lead to the same problem down the road again. If you don't change what caused that spending, you haven't fixed the problem. That debt will be piled right back up again.
I'll say it once and I'll say it a million times. Rich people file for bankruptcy all the fucking time. If the sitting president of the United States can file for bankruptcy, so can you. Yes, it does mess up your credit, but you can easily rebuild. Unless you're looking to buy a house within the next 1 to 2 years, filing for bankruptcy is going to be completely fine. In fact, some people do it every 7 to 10 years. If you have any other questions regarding bankruptcy, please leave it in a comment. I'm low-key passionate about this shit. There is so much more to life when you finally get in control of your finances. It truly was the best thing I did for myself in 2025.
I have no idea where they come up with this stuff. Rich people file for bankruptcy all the time. No, they don't. Do these people think rich people are just hiding their money? They just go racking up debt, file for bankruptcy after, and that's how they're making all their money. It just doesn't work like that. I'm not sure about the president, but I don't think he ever filed personal bankruptcy. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. It was some of his companies, and that's a completely different thing. It's not tied to his personal wealth. So he's made decisions based on bad information. Not only that, but he's putting out bad information. And hopefully not too many people see it and make a bad decision based on it. That's it for this one. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.